Greetings, Temple Beth Shalom. We are in Parashat Ki Teitzei for our Shabbat message of the week, Deuteronomy chapter 21, 10 through 25, 19, and we're talking about relationships in society. What I want to do is go through the different sections this week and see what we can find. So, the first section in the outline is laws regarding family relations. Laws regarding marriage to a prisoner of war, an heir whose mother is an unloved wife, or the incorrigible son. Just because I am a son, I want to turn to the verses of incorrigible son and see what it says. This is one of my favorite sections of the entire Torah because it is, as a parent, it's one that I realize it's important to understand that sometimes what we really want to happen or what we really think might happen is not really what should happen, because the Torah outlines something that really should never happen, even if we get angry and want it to happen. If you're a parent, you'll understand. If a householder has a wayward and defiant son who does not heed his father or mother and does not obey them even after they discipline him, his father and mother shall take hold of him and bring him out to the elders of his town at the public place of his community. They shall say to the elders of his town, "This son of ours is disloyal and defiant. He does not heed us. He is a glutton and a drunkard." Thereupon his town's council shall stone him to death. Thus you will sweep out evil from your midst. All Israel will hear and be afraid. Now, you don't have to have children or be a parent to understand that sometimes kids can be wayward and defiant, or as it says here, incorrigible. But this is an example of a law that we don't really, or I don't really, and I can't imagine anyone does actually really want to take a child out to the corner of the town and have the elders of the town stone that person to death. It's difficult for us. It's a mitzvah that we don't necessarily agree to. Or don't at all agree to. So then we have laws regarding neighbors' nature and clothing. We have laws regarding sexual misconduct, false and true accusations of unchastity, the penalty for adultery, forced and consensual sex with a betrothed woman, and forced sex with an unbetrothed woman. Then we have laws regarding forbidden relationships. And then we have miscellaneous laws. Laws regarding soldiers, slaves, and prostitutes. Laws regarding commitments to God and neighbors. More laws regarding marriage, objects taken in pawn, kidnapping, skin affliction. And then we have laws protecting the vulnerable. And this is where I want to spend the bulk of our time on in this message. Obtaining pledges and paying wages, prohibition on transgenerational punishment, protecting the strange, the fatherless, and the widow, limits on flogging, prohibition on muzzling an ox when it is threshing, a levirate marriage, punishment of a woman who intervenes in her husband's fight, honest weights and measures. And then the last couple of verses, is our charge to remember Amalek. But we're going to turn to chapter 24:10, and we're going to look at some of the laws that are there. So I think they're really important to focus on. When you make a loan of any sort to your compatriot, you must not enter the house to seize the pledge. You must remain outside while the party to whom you made the loan brings the pledge out to you. If the party is needy, you shall not go to sleep in that pledge. You must return the pledge at sundown, that its owner may sleep in the cloth and bless you, and it will be to your merit before your God, Adonai. And what it's the explanation here is, the lender may not enter the borrower's home to obtain a pledge, for this might embarrass a borrower by showing her or his poverty. A cloak or blanket given in pledge must be returned at night so that the borrower can use it as a covering at night. And then there's rules about when you have someone that's working for you, you must pay their wages in a timely manner, because those day workers are requiring those wages to be able to live their life. You shall not subvert the rights of the stranger or the fatherless. You shall not take a widow's garment in pawn. And then here's the reminder why. Remember that you were a slave in Egypt and that your God Adonai redeemed you from there. Therefore do I enjoin you to observe this commandment. Goes on a little bit further about how to handle disputes between different groups. And then the last part of this Torah portion, the last 3 verses. Zachor et asher asa lecha Amalek baderech b'tzeitchem mimitzrayim. Remember what Amalek did to you on your journey after you left Egypt. How, undeterred by fear of God, he surprised you on the march, when you were famished and weary, and cut down all the stragglers in your rear. Therefore, when your God Adonai grants you safety from all your enemies around you, in the land that your God Adonai is giving you as a hereditary portion, you shall blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven. Do not forget. Parasha concludes with an injunction to remember the incident that occurred in Exodus 17, verses 8 through 16. Amalek is singled out for strong condemnation. The command to blot out his name is emphasized by being framed to remember and do not forget. In synagogues, this passage is traditionally read aloud during Shabbat Zachor, the Sabbath just before Purim. We call Haman an Agagite. The book of Esther makes him Amalekite, whose king in the time of Saul was Agag. Amalek became a symbol of later Jewish enemies as well, such as Hitler and others. Well, we must remember and never forget all the things that happened to us along the way, and remember that God is going to take care of us. But we don't forget. Shabbat Shalom.